You ever wonder why a lot of sports photographers swear by the 70200mm range, even though it's a pretty hefty piece of glass? It turns out that roughly 68% of them say they can't get a clean, sharp shot without a fast aperture and solid stabilization, something most amateur shooters overlook. The Tamron A025C SP 70200mm f/2.8 is one of those lenses that brings that pro-level capability into a more affordable package, and it's been upgraded with a newer VC system that actually gives you about 5 stops of shake reduction. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, and I'll walk through why that matters for everyday shooting. When you're out at a weekend soccer match, the quick autofocus speed makes a huge difference. The G2 version of this lens snaps into focus on a moving player faster than the original, so you can capture that split-second strike without the blur you'd get with slower gear. The same speed is a blessing for wildlife photographers chasing birds in flight. You can lock onto the subject and start tracking before it's out of the frame. And because the aperture stays constant at f/2.8 through the whole zoom range, you still have that creamy background blur even when you pull back to frame a larger scene, perfect for portrait sessions where you want a sharp subject and a soft, isolated background. Stabilization isn't just about shaking hands, it's also about getting the most out of your handheld low-light shots. With Tamron's updated 3-mode VC, you can pick a setting that matches the situation, a standard mode for everyday use, a sport mode that emphasizes fast response, and a low-light mode that adds extra stabilization for those candlelit events. I tried it at an indoor concert, and the images stayed razor-sharp at ISO 3200 without any noticeable ghosting. The added benefit is that you can sometimes drop your shutter speed a full stop or two and still keep the image clean, which means longer depth of field control when you need it. Another practical perk is the optional TAP-in console, which lets you customize firmware and fine-tune settings right from your camera. If you like to create your own focus presets for specific lenses or adjust the VC behavior on the fly, this console makes it painless. It's a feature that most people won't use every day, but when you do need that level of control, say, shooting a fast-moving horse race where you want a specific AF mode, you've got it at your fingertips. The lens also ships with a well-designed hood that reduces flare during bright daylight, a sturdy body cap, and a soft-touch lens cap that helps keep the front element clean when you're swapping gear on location. Overall, the lens feels solid without being overly heavy, and the image quality is consistently high across the frame. The pros that stand out most are the quick and reliable autofocus, the versatile vibration compensation that lets you shoot handheld in dim environments, and the customizable TAP-in console for power users. On the downside, the price is a bit higher than some competing 70200mm options, and the lens can still be a little front-heavy for extended handheld sessions, so you might want to consider a tripod or monopod for marathon shoots. Those are the only real drawbacks I've run into, and they're pretty situational. If you're looking for a telephoto zoom that can keep up with sports, wildlife, and portrait work while giving you a bit of extra stabilization and custom control, this Tamron is worth a closer look. You can find the link in the description below, and that's all for today. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next video. For most buyers, the real question is not whether Tamron A025C SP 70-200mm f/2.8D VC USD G2 for Canon digital SLR camera sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like builds upon the success of the original and much acclaimed SP and features a faster AF speed, enhanced vibration compensation, and actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like Tamron A025C SP 70-200mm f/2.8D VC USD G2 for Canon digital SLR camera usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.